Coming off SIUE, it was a solid performance. I was more pleased defensively than offensively. I thought that we did some nice things on the defensive side. I thought our mistakes they took advantage of. They had a couple threes. We relaxed, went underneath a couple screens, and they hurt us. But for the most part, I think we're getting a little more diligent, a little better about not making as many scouting report mistakes, being dialed into our basics, our fundamentals. Little concerned about the defensive glass in that game. There's no doubt that SIUE, they got 50% of them back against Indiana. It's part of what they do. So we've got to solve that problem a little bit, more from the wings than from interior guys. But offensively, I thought we did some nice things. I thought we played in pretty good flow and rhythm. It was a much slower game than the Eastern game, but just shy of a 1.4 OER. Other than the little stretch in the first half where we didn't make some free throws, we missed 2 front ends, I think. It was pretty solid, or we could have had a pretty special night had we made some free throws. But next challenge is Oakland, and one of the great coaches in college basketball, and Greg Campy. So much appreciation and respect for the fact that he's been at one school for so long. That is very rare, very unique. It shows his popularity, his successes. We obviously, the Illinois fans got a little taste of him last year in here, and then we got him in the spring with Coaches versus Cancer, and one of the really, really good people in our profession, and one of the good guys. So a team that obviously went on a magical run last year, winning their conference tournament, upsetting Kentucky. They gave us everything that we wanted in here last year. I think we were down 8-0, 10-2. The first half was a constant battle. They play zone. They do it very well. They have tremendous three-point shooting, and yet you can't get skewed by the fact that they're one of the top teams in college basketball in post-ups. And even though Trey Townsend's not there, they've got a couple guys up front this year who post the ball a lot. They're very effective. They're undersized, but very, very efficient. And the Cole kid at the point is a guy that's got the ultimate green light, as many of their guards do. He'll shoot it from deep. He's got great size and strength, and then Greg's added a couple of transfer shooters as well. So, a typical team that wants to play low possessions, play in zone, and we'll see a little different look than what we've seen in the first two, which will be good for us.
Brad, you're pretty upset about defense after Ole Miss. What's been the process since then to get more execution and more of what you want at that end of the floor?
To be very honest, probably me doing a much better job of emphasizing it and demanding that we have the grit and the fight. I think we got a little bit out of character, maybe working on everything but playing hard. And it doesn't matter if you don't play hard and you don't have some grit and fight, none of it's going to look any good. And thought we were very, very tentative early, almost to the point of being soft. And I think we've had to correct that, and that starts with me. And I think we're making less mistakes, which is a positive. But we have to do that with tremendous effort. We've got guys who can really, really guard, and I think we've shown that at times. And as the competition level steps up, with Oakland, and as we move into some of our more high-level non-league games, we've got to have that fight, and we've still got to find it on the defensive glass in some cases, but it's just been me demanding and and expecting more from them from a grittier, tougher standpoint.
When we talked with Trey, he said he kind of always considered himself a Swiss Army knife, and now he feels like he's on a team that's like all Swiss Army knives almost. Like, do you kind of see that versatility like he does? Like you said, 1 through 15.
Yeah, I think that he, in his case, I think he's a guy that I think he does some things exceptionally well on the offensive side. I think he's an elite cutter. I think he's got great feel and instinct. I think he's a very good rebounder. I think what we're asking of him is demanding that he guard at a really, really high level on the defensive side, giving him the responsibility of other teams' best player, second best player. But I think this team has that ability. I think offensively, we can do a lot of things that can come from a lot of different sources. We've kind of seen that through 2 games, and what we've got to have is consistent play on the defensive side, and maybe a few different lineups we can play. So it gives us versatility where Trey can guard some 4s, he can guard any perimeter player. We need to get that from Ben and Carey as well on that side. So I think we've got a lot of versatility. I think it's a positive for us.
I guess with Oakland, as teams do, the roster doesn't look the same. But stylistically, is it just? Does that help you? Maybe when Greg Campy's kind of played, this similar style.
Yeah, Greg's going to play to win, and for a mid-major program, to play high major games, Greg's really good at it. I think if you remember, they had a 10-second count walking the ball across half court last year with the game on the line, and he wants to play fewer possessions. He's on the road. It's a game that he wants to control the possessions. That zone allows that, and then they're very, very comfortable playing in the late shot clock. So you get an NCAA tournament vibe or an NCAA or a league game vibe. With lower possessions sometimes, and it'll be interesting to see how we react to that. And we still have to be us. We still have to get out and push and try to play with tempo. We've still got to be effective on the offensive glass. Their 2 front court guys are getting almost 8 offensive rebounds a game. So it's another challenge for us, and they do what they have to do to win, and it's offensive rebound. They take care of the ball. Lower possessions, and if you give them wide open 3s, they make it, and pretty good success.
We saw Trey jump up and make a couple early 3s in the last game. Have you seen him make progress in that area? A guy that shot at around sub 30 from 3 coming in, but he said he feels like he's more confident with that shot.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that I think we've asked of him is take good shots. I think he was in a situation where he took a lot of difficult shots. And it's amazing when you shoot really good shots, you gain confidence. And he's a guy that has the ability to shoot him off the catch, shoot him off the dribble. We saw that in the first couple possessions of the game the other night. So I've never thought he was not a good shooter. I thought he was a good shooter who took a lot of hard shots, and we're trying to help him in that area.
You've talked a lot over the years about, finding ways to win when shots don't fall. They've fallen through 2 games. So what do you feel like this team has in it? If it faces a situation where they've got to do some other things.
Yeah, we've got to continue to fight on the offensive glass. I think the other thing that was encouraging for us is I think we had 13 turnovers against Eastern. We had 5. You can't turn the ball over when you. If you ever have a night when you don't shoot the ball very well, you better maximize your possessions. You better not turn it over. It's one of the big adjustments we made from the Ole Miss exhibition was, we live ball turnovers. KJ's doing a great job of taking care of the basketball. He's got the ball in his hands a lot. Will he have a couple? Probably, but we got to keep growing offensive execution wise. Find the right balance. You know, and I like our shot selection that we're getting right now, and you know, I think it's multiple guys being able to score helps maybe eliminate some of those nights and feeling comfortable enough to get those guys in the game.
For KJ, 16 free throw attempts so far through 2 games. What is the key for him to maybe be able to do that consistently, and is that something that can really elevate your offense if shots aren't falling as well?
Yeah, I think he's a high. I mean, if you look at his EuroLeague stuff and when he played in Europe, I mean, he's a guy that lives at the free throw line. He gets fouled a lot. He's been taught extremely well. He plays through arms, the defender's arms a lot. I thought he's gotten fouled quite a bit more than what's been called even, but. You know, he's a career 90% free throw shooter. He's effective doing that, and you know, it's a big part of his is his game, and he's got a great knack because he's strong at 6'5", 6'6", and we want to see him there a lot, and it's a good sign for us.
Coach, you have the Big Ten Freshman Player of the Week. What are you trying to build on with what you've seen from him so far?
Yeah, I thought he was really efficient against Eastern, and I thought he pressed maybe a little bit harder in the SIU game instead of, you know, just kind of letting things come to him. He's a really elite hard shot maker. What I'm more curious of now is how do teams start guarding him? You know, and that's where we've got to help him. You know, is there a tendency that we start to pick up on? He's a great catch and shoot guy. You know, he made a 3 off the baseline out of bounds play that not many guys make. 6'9", he just popped up over a guy running away from the basket and shot it. But you know, I think my challenge is to find opportunities for him that are a little easier, and then I want him to get fouled more. He lives in the paint. He's got great pivots. And instead of making hard shots sometimes in there, just get fouled. And so I think that's kind of the next step with him is to get, you know, 8, 10 free throw attempts a game.
Brad, obviously it's still really early. We haven't seen Kylan get going offensively yet. Is there anything that you want to see him get in a rhythm? Is that something you concern yourself with at all, or is that as long as the offense is going?
No, I'm really proud of what he's done, because he hasn't forced anything, and he's played the game the right way. And you know, he's had a couple go in and out. He's done it before. I mean, he's had 20-point nights, so he's the last thing I worry about. But I love what he's doing on the defensive side because he's leading us there, and then I love that just his patience is. His opportunities will come. Truthfully, if you look, I mean, he and KJ haven't taken a lot of shot attempts. They're both just taking what the defense gives them. They're setting the table for everybody else. And there's going to be nights when coverages are different and opportunities are there, and they're going to get a ton of them. And we both know they're both very, very capable. So I love the way those guys in the backcourt are playing together.
Yeah, it's only been 2 games, but where do you feel like maybe role identification is, or where maybe these guys have maybe slid into, you know, a role that they can fill?
Yeah, I think it's coming. I think that you know, I think they're more comfortable maybe than I am, and that's probably a really good thing. I think they're all finding their niche, their comfort zone. I'm still, you know, trying to, you know, figure out, you know, how I like some substitution patterns at what time. You know, when do I get Tommy out? When do I get, you know, find KJ a blow? You know, I don't want Will to set too long. You know, it's all those things. Can we play Trey at the 4 and Will and play a little bigger on the perimeter? We haven't done that a bunch. So I think there's some different things that I'm still working towards feeling comfortable with, but I think our guys are starting to find a pretty good rhythm and feel pretty comfortable. Thank you.